and harmed here today. As Fnatic on the defense, getting aggressive, and it's Kayak with a double opening. The flash helped him out for the second, but the first was all him. Little bit of space taken by Heretics in response, but a 5v2 that they're now left in.
Yeah, they did I think they did the exact same thing in the pistol versus Liquid. This aggressive defensive side push, and has left Miniboot in an almost impossible position, but bear in mind, Kayak's low. And Miniboo, when you talk about statistics, when you talk about ACS, this has been the guy throughout the season that's been able to take rounds home in scenarios that never should have been. This crossfire should be impossible, but the first one comes cleanly. The next two might be a little bit tougher.
Yeah, there's still some room for this to swing back in the favor of Team Heretics. A strong squad when it comes to that pistol round win rate. See if it can be converted by the crossfire in play. Chronicles contact and the swing from Crashies down below. In fact,
they're even going to steal an orbital too, but I think they're very aware of the few spots on the map. There could be less saying that. Rians is the first to take a jewel, but Chronicle at range should have them dead to rights. Obviously not wanting to overface, but here's the steps coming and just farming up those orbs. Eventually it's going to get overwhelmed though, and this could be a problem. That's now the rifle. Look at the guns that are left for Fnatic. They've only got the pistols remaining. One comes up for Alpha here, but this has all fallen apart.
Boaster's got a chance. It's still gonna hurt the economy, but oh, never mind.
You now look at the economy available. I guess it doesn't matter. I guess the Classic is a much better gun than I'm giving it credit for.
Fnatic coming into this game at least the best anti-eco team in the league. Well, that statistic just took a big hit in a big game as well. Trying to fight back with an eco of their own. And at least for now, it looked good. A Classic found the opening. Alphayer shows the Guardian. Put some credits on the line, and the reward, well, it's looking decent with Heretics already feeling the burn. Moving into the A site though, filling in a lot of space here will give them an opportunity to grab that plant. They still have to get past Crashies, but again, it's only the Classic in his hands. Boaster coming into position, only a Sheriff.
Yeah, I think fighting back in is always going to be that little bit more difficult. Utility to try and hold them into place, and well, it's not the prettiest of shots. Rians does well, but the spike has been dropped to the deck. Still though, now back into a 2v2 scenario. Benji trying to find a little bit of extra space. He's been in top form as of recent games, but this is still not an easy position to get out of.
Covered weapons for Fnatic. They can pack a punch in these fights, but they haven't got the shields to last.
Around the edge of the cam, I don't think Benji's going to have any idea that he's here! And it's not the prettiest of shots, but Kayak is still standing.
Somehow, yeah, he gets there in the end. Alphayer above the smoke onto Miniboo, and now the numbers in Fnatic's favor. The weaponry there, the ult's online, and it's the neural theft finding the information. Big swing from Kayak. Shots though just not landing, and a Rolling Thunder in response is going to slow down that main take. Woot still flying under the radar up top. They've not spotted him. Chronicle may well have heard those steps as he swung out wide, and with Boo tagged low, this round can easily fall apart for Heretics. It's a brave stand out in the middle of the open. And he will find one on low HP. That's as solid as you could hope for, but Woot being rooted leaves Rienz alone. The last man standing, players all around, but he isolates it to just Chronicle. The time ticking, and it's already gone. The headshot can... Heretics, 70% of times they play an opponent's map, they steal it away. Alpha fired up inside of main. He finds the opening. He's dancing through the smokes, but eventually he will fall. The weaker weapons that are left in this round still managing to pack quite a punch. Boaster's taken down one. The numbers are somehow in Fnatic's favor. Damage is done too. And now the players are coming back up through main. This south side push from A main, well, it bought them a bit of space. But that orbital strike takes it right back into Heretics' favor. 2v3.
Yeah, he'd normally want to save that for the post, but they desperately needed that extra space. With Armageddon available, well, not anymore. Benji will win the fight that takes the ult out. Even still, an immediate trade. But this allows Boo back into those post-plant scenarios. We've seen this many a time. It might actually get an early fight. Chronicle has managed to slip the net into the close corner. I don't know if he's going to check it whatsoever.
Now his opportunity for redemption up against the man himself. Benji Fishy is caught in the corner, finds himself one anyways, and a little bit of extra info. Cage trying to keep himself alive. Rienzo.
For now, at least, they have the opening advantage.
Oh, that timing perfect on the swing. Alpha here took a while to get there. He's a little quicker swinging onto Boo, though. Benji Fishy only got one last round. He wasn't happy with that. Steps up for a second, but not quite the third. It's Alpha here to take it across the line, putting just Rienz up against the rest. They know exactly where he is. He's tripping wires, he's caught by the ult, and now he's in a fight with Uto off rip from Heretics. They're looking for aggressive space take, much to Rienz's chagrin. He goes down to the salvos in main. Quick trades back and forth, and it leaves Fnatic with the advantage. Fast rotations from that A site. We've seen this a couple times now, but Boo manages to find one with a classic.
They'd be strong in it. Pace change, though, coming in. And Alfia, he's been at the right place at the right time. Dominating that B site. This time swaps to A, and already that's Miniboo gone again.
We already mentioned, you know, early on, it was his former teammate Rienz, the one putting up those numbers, but Alpha very much leading the charge on the server in these last couple rounds. And on the scoreboard, as we see more bodies thrown at that site, they'll finally deal with him, but the reinforcements are here. Players covering all the angles from Sand and Spawn. But in the end, Fnatic survive behind those smokes. In fact, Boaster gets in front of them, hoping that Boo will make a mistake. Denying this plant, though, seems too big a task. Boaster's pushed out. Big orbital strike.
Yeah, you think they're not going to ult the same place twice, but clearly realizing that that ground had been retaken, they will now get themselves a pick off that orbital strike. And finally that plant will come in. Retreat should be impossible, but actually, Boo manages to get away. There are a lot of tag players, though. Benji Fishy looking to hold on to the cross. Rienz already eliminated by Alfia, putting things back into that 4v4 scenario, and now looking to try and clear things together. They need to get this close position out, though, and Miniboo's just looking to try and survive in the corner, just dancing with death, but he survives all the way back around. And while trying to clear him, that spike has been slowly ticking away. Chronicle with another. The trades coming back and forth, but still the attack have the time on their side, and with the salvos buying an extra few seconds at a peak, able to come from either side!
Early on from Heretics has slowed down. And now it could be Fnatic's time to shine. Big pick for Kayak early. That dish control working wonders, and the response on the other side is to try to push Boaster. Try and fail.
Already. Ultimate thrown in, both players hit. Woot just trying to survive at the back of the site, and they know exactly where he is, clinging desperately to life. There should be no way out of this round for the side of Heretics, with Boaster adding his third.
They heard a lot of utility, they heard steps, so they know there's space, and Alpha has just walked out of heaven, taken down Voot with ease, and the B side open for the plant. Boaster gets a little too aggressive, punished for it, expecting a gap, and there certainly was not one there. But a 4v4 post plant for Fnatic as a result. The camera even spotting this two-man north side push. A lot of information now for that attacking side to work with.
They managed to at least reclaim the ramp. And Alfia already picking off Benji. This is looking like a second pistol potentially going their way. They're going to have one of these fights going their way. And in fact, it's gone completely wrong, Rienz, though. Never count him out. The salvos will buy that extra time. That's a bigger issue. He was hoping to force players in. He's actually clipped it. And now an aftershock as well. But
they had all the information and they played off it perfectly. Heretics left with pistols, and although they may be a strong squad when it comes to eco rounds, I don't think the Fnatic are going to make that same mistake twice.
No, they do still have the same amount of pistols, but it also means that they can afford a little bit of extra damage. That was close.
Got a little worried there, Tom.
Down to just 21, but you can see immediately that rifle has been juggled over into Alfia's hands for the remainder. Again, it comes down to just how much damage can they get. That's at least one for Miniboo, but anything more from this stage, be a bit surprised.
And even then, as long as Crashies is the one going down or close enough to
40 seconds left on the clock, and they've still got an awful lot of ground to clear. Timing here for Woot. It's going to be absolutely everything. If he gets this pick, it could be a problem, but Kayak has been an unstoppable force so far in this map, and now just sells a ruse. You see the aggression going through on that top side of the map, making that realization, okay, they're going to A. Let's start clearing out the other side, and now the smokes fall, and they are nowhere to be seen.
They already got rid of that camera early on inside B main, so it's not to be worried about. Rienz dealt with, He was already so desperately low. Boo ahead of the curve, but Chronicle still picks him up. Now just one away from that Rolling Thunder and one pick away from putting double digits on the board. There's Rolling Thunder online one way or another. And Miniboo doesn't stand the greatest chance of taking this across the line. I don't know how far away Crashies is from those salvos, but I think they'll be online fairly soon. Even as Miniboo continues to chip away at this task, it's like Atlas, it will never end. Certainly not in his favor, as the players...
XAUUSD, he definitely knows that there's a target to be had, and well, is waiting for Riens to make his move. So aware of these positions, and even under pressure, he's still landing the shots. Boo is all that's left.
Spike planted.
This rifle recovered. Miniboo managed to chip away at them last time, but what stopped him? It was the salvos, and guess who's still online, still alive? Now, salvos aren't there just yet, but we've seen it. They'll be ticking away in the background and other players throwing themselves at this fight. Boo would have to root Crashies out first. He has found him and taken him down. Recovered the weapon for the magazine, finds his third, now it's down! No one! An ultimate put into play, Kayak on his way straight through. There it is activated, but Miniboo's the first to draw blood. It's Benji under the pressure as predicted. Miniboo to fall as well. Numbers kept even, but the attack side has space. Rolling Thunder keeps the spike in the defender's hands. They've got it dropped in towards main for now, but Alphayer with a quick double puts this one to bed, smoking off the spike and taking it from under Rien's nose, and now a 1 versus 3. A big play coming in as well. Down below you can see that Alpha is lurking, making his way around to close this out from behind. Rien's worried about the players in main. Now he's got an idea, though.
Alongside ultimate for Miniboo, it feels like they've almost put all their eggs in one basket. He's dead immediately. Alphayer again with the opener.
I was saying earlier, you can't take anything away from him. His utility so important here on the attack, but now he's starting to claim a name for himself with the gun in hand. I think just one behind Kayak. In terms of frags, Mike just matched up there. Benji down on the ground, and the dominoes all falling in favor of Fnatic. Boo, even lost on that south side push. There's almost nothing to fall back on here. They've at least dealt with Alphayer, but let's be honest, there's very little when it comes to weakness here on the Fnatic side. I think Boaster one away from having, in fact, there it is, the same amount of kills as the last time these two met in a series. Who are taking some space, some ground, the two being pushed, but Heretics are ready. Benji, Fishy, watching that alongside Boo, and they'll find the opening pick as a result. They even suspect that he wasn't alone, but Crashies bides his time. Unfortunately, Alpha's isolated. He's still alive, one shot left, and he'll be executed from behind. Does well, though, to find his one there. Still a disadvantage for Fnatic.
Alphayer playing yellow and only getting 1 kill. Can't believe it. Thought he'd have at least 2. Boaster under serious pressure. Wingman can get the plant in, and well, that gives the space for the others to push. They've spotted Crashy's flank, and both players on Fnatic completely isolated. Both pistols went their way in the last map. It got them that extra little bonus of a start, and well, maybe this one still has some legs in it. 2 quick kills.
Where has this hope come from? Oh, the stun perfect, though. Chronicle going to be caught out. Rien's the one to take him down, and now Crashy's all alone. And they're lined up. The high-low setup almost isolates one. The shot's not quite landing. 4, 3, 2 bullets left, and he's out. The reload they'll swing on, but that's a mistake. Unfortunately, time is too far gone at this point.
They need to move forward and get somebody to try and plant that spike, and the fights are not going their way. Still yet to find a plant, and within the last second they're going to attempt it, but there are players peeking in all the way up, deep in towards that A side of the map, but luckily there's been a response. Again, the goal on this side has always been to delay, but Miniboo has decided, you know what, I'm not going to give them that opportunity. I'm going to try and get up in their face. Plant will go down. Armageddon a little bit further up behind, was hoping to force them forward, but with the space already taken by Miniboo, they weren't too wary about it. Still looking to hold on to that backline. Kayak is the snake in the grass, the second layer to this rotation, and it seems like at this stage the attack are completely unaware that there is another player coming in from behind.
They have no idea. And now even less so, looking for that retake, looking for the fight. Alpha, 8 HP. All hope may rest on Kayak's head, but he manages to find one. Alpha buys that little bit of space, the wall. Those weaker weapons hesitant to take the fight. Will Heretics worry about their back in time? No, they won't. Kayak strikes, picks off the first. They're managing to hold the line against the onslaught from Spawn. Kayak, the man with the rifle, buys time. Closer than expected already, wrapping around on yellow. Those recovered rifles now in with a chance. Alpha baits them into the open, takes down the double. Boaster with another play.
This is clear.
Crash. Oh, it's got a lot of space and forcing the fights as they're out in the open and put in.
And time also becomes an issue. 2 slows and the wall available. They're walking straight into that crosshair, but Miniboo is going to find the trade. At least it's not another flawless. We're not getting the 3-peat of its own flawlesses, but that's a bit of a silver lining. Benchy's done well. Chronicle down. Still the salvos coming into play. Crashy's got to be the most irritating Teo to play against with the timing. But Wu has found some space. Unexpected, not known, but Alfia quick on the trade, in fact.
So they can't turn back. Here goes the ult, and now the flank from Fnatic shows its full hand. One player goes back to deal with him, but there's actually 2 players on the flank, and they find out the hard way. Benji at least able to pick off Chronicle. The players now awaiting on site. I say players, it's just one. It's Boo, isolated. But he has managed to fly under the radar. A free pick on Boaster and Alphier. Here's the round they needed. Even the lockdown committed and denied. Kayak, you've been sublime so far, but a little more needed. There's the pick and the res, and that brings them right back into the round.
And you finally managed to deal with Alphier, and someone brings him back to life. Counter lockdown going to be put into play. The round so much more important than anything else. Alfia actually looking to try and play ahead of it, and he'll be dealt with by Riens. And while there's not a lot of time left,
I think they're very ready for it though. Look, there's 4 players already on this site, and they are trained in on that position now. As 2 fall, they think it'll be a little bit more free, a little bit more open, but Heretics, well, they couldn't be more wrong. Left with just 1, he's on the ropes, quite literally.
They're stuck again. They have to go pushing, they have to go moving. Miniboo lands a second shot though. He might just be keeping them in the round, but there's the swing. Spike dropped once again. With 7 seconds left, Chronicle, all he has to do is try and drop it one more time, but he will die. Fnatic have done really well to sort of disorientate them, and well, just look at the immediate rundown. Heretics not feeling the burn just yet, as they will run it straight into their opponents. There's a lot of counter utility being put into play though. Still opportunities to try and fight this back, although has somehow managed to completely dodge that stun. He won't dodge. Grand final, a chance at the trophy. Damn, nice shot from Miniboo, but again, the first kill might go the way of Heretics, but the second and the third go in the other direction. Boo has picked up the mantle of his brother, trying to do that little bit more. Some nice shots, but the round still looks favored. The man against them, though, maybe the last man you'd want to come up against here.
He's up close, he's ahead of the curve. On this path, on even it being a side push, but now he's spotted him, what a shot! But it gives them a huge opportunity. The opening pick already there is Kayak with another Alpha, returning with the classic onto Woot. And all of a sudden, this round that had little to speak about in favor of Fnatic, just 2 rifles, now they've got 4. And there's only 2 rifles for Heretics, only 2 players left standing.
Benji's held the line at least for a little bit. He's managed to find a gap, but the trade was never going to not come through from that position. It now leaves Boo. How difficult it could be to play. He does survive though, but well, his teammate has not. In fact, Riens didn't even last long.
Man, now Woot's looking the wrong way again. It was Kayak to distract him last time. This time, he's the one surprising him. And either way, this has got to be a save. Look, they're already backing off. They're already giving up that control towards the B site. Boo and Benji look to hang on to these weapons, and how quickly that round fell apart. And Tom, you're exactly right as well. It's not just the fact that you have this ult coming through, but behind it, you've then got a nano swarm and the salvos to block them in. I mean, those players were under so much pressure, and they struggled.
One gap.
The tiny gap. And immediately. And a good job that they're playing that bit more passive. Thrash is on its way. It's caught one, but Miniboo's down below, ready to pounce. Boaster gets caught in mid as well. Really nicely played by Heretics, covering all their bases, defending the man that got caught by the Thrash. And now 3 players on site ready for the battle. Fnatic walking right in to the fray. I like Kayak's spot, but no one's giving him an angle. Oh, here we go. He's up and above. He's caught them in the ult. The trade comes in quick with Miniboo shutting that down. Alpha all alone. He's been sensational so far. Gets the opportunity for one, but with 12 seconds left, that plant has to be stuck at this time, and the flank indeed should secure this round as he runs.
Already, they're trying to get it. Actually, I think that nanoswarm has missed. It's bounced off, but it doesn't matter. The spams have done the work anyway, and now all that remains is Boo! He's landed a multitude of kills, looking.
There's plenty of players waiting. In goes the Armageddon. It's caught one. Rienz is down. Woot! Forced into the open. And now the round seems to be in Fnatic's favor. A lot of ground to cover by Miniboo, by Boo. The pit falls and they know where he's coming from. They'll drop him